Once upon a time, in a tall banyan tree near a small village, lived a crow family. The mother crow, Chandamama, was wise, loving, and very brave. Chandamama had 2 tiny, fluffy, always hungry babies. Every morning, she flew far and wide, searching for food. Ka, ka, the babies would cry, beaks wide open, waiting eagerly. Hush now, my darlings, Chandamama would say, placing food into their mouths. Eat well, grow strong. One day, you will fly across the whole wide sky. Father Crow helped too, watching over the nest from the highest branch. But it was Chandamama who truly ran the family, teaching her children everything. Listen carefully, she would say. To call me, say ka, ka, nice and loud, the little ones tried. Ka, ka, they squeaked softly. Chandamama smiled. Almost. Try again. They practiced day after day until their voices rang clear and strong. Ka! Ka! As weeks passed, the babies grew bigger, their feathers sleek and black. Chandamama knew it was almost time. Today, she announced, you will learn to fly. The little crows trembled at the nest's edge. The ground looked so far below. Don't be afraid, Chandamama said softly. I will be right beside you. Spread your wings and trust the wind. One by one, they jumped. Flap, flap, wobble, wobble. The first one dipped low, then soared up. The second spun, then glided smoothly. Chandamama flew alongside them, her heart bursting with pride. Look at you, my beautiful children, flying, she called joyfully. But the world outside the banyan tree was full of dangers. Hawks circled above. Cats prowled below. Chandamama taught them to be alert, to be smart, to always look out for each other. Remember, she told them every night, family stays together. We protect each other. That is the crow's way. One day, a big hawk swooped toward her children. Chandamama didn't hesitate. She flew straight at the hawk, cawing fiercely. Caw! 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 Other crows from the village heard her call and rushed to help. Together, they chased the hawk far, far away. The little crows watched in awe, their mother so brave, so strong. From that day on, the young crows flew with confidence. They found their own food, made their own calls, and watched over each other, just as Chandamama had taught them. Every evening, the whole family gathered together, safe, happy, because that is the power of a mother's love.
Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a very, very lazy man. Everyone called him Somaripotu, which means the lazy one. While the whole village woke at dawn, Somaripotu would be snoring away. His wife, Kashtajivi, was the complete opposite. She worked from sunrise to sunset, cooking, cleaning, tending the fields. Her hands never stopped moving. Please get up. Kashtajivi would plead every morning. There is so much work to do. Work? What work? Somaripotu would yawn. The sun is too hot. Maybe tomorrow. And he would roll over and go right back to sleep. Days turned into months. The family grew poorer and poorer. Kashtajivi worked harder, but it was never enough. Still, she never gave up hope. One evening, walking home from the fields, she saw a brilliant golden light. Near the old temple, standing in the glow, was a beautiful woman, dressed in silk, adorned with jewels. Who are you? Whispered Kashtajivi. I am Lakshmi, the woman replied, the goddess of wealth. I have been watching you, dear child. Your hard work, your patience. They have touched my heart. Kashtajivi folded her hands, trembling. Devi, we have nothing. My husband refuses to work. Lakshmi raised her hand gently. I know. I wish to bless your home. But listen carefully. My blessings stay only where there is effort. Where there is laziness, I cannot remain. That night, Kashtajivi told Somaripotu everything. The goddess herself came. She will bless us, but only if we both work hard. Somaripotu laughed. You and your stories! He turned over and closed his eyes. But the next morning, something magical happened. Their old, cracked pot was filled with golden rice. Withered plants burst into bloom. A healthy calf appeared tied to their fence. Somaripotu's jaw dropped. How? How is this possible? It is Lakshmi Devi's grace, said Kashtajivi. But remember, her blessings stay only where there is effort. For a few days, Somaripotu actually tried. He swept the yard. He watered the plants. And the blessings continued. More grain, more abundance. But slowly, old habits crept back. He stopped working. He lay under the tree all day, eating the food that appeared on its own. And then, one morning, the golden rice was gone. The flowers wilted. The calf vanished. Everything was back to the way it was before. Empty. Bare. Somaripotu finally understood. He fell to his knees. Forgive me, Devi. Blessings are not free. They must be earned. With work, with effort, with a willing heart. From that day forward, Somaripotu woke at dawn alongside his wife. He plowed the fields. He worked with his own 2 hands. And slowly, their home filled with abundance once again. Not because of magic, but because of honest, hard work. And Lakshmi Devi, she smiled from above. Because the greatest blessing of all is the strength to help yourself.
Once upon a time, there lived a poor fisherman. He had nothing but his old boat, a torn net, and a brave heart. Every day, he would row out to the deep sea, hoping to catch enough fish to feed his family. Some days were good, most days were not. One morning, he cast his net and waited. He pulled and pulled and pulled. The net felt terribly heavy. This must be the biggest fish of my life. But when he hauled the net up, it was not a fish. It was a sealed copper pot, old, dusty, lid pressed on tight. He pried the lid open. Whoosh! A great cloud of smoke burst out, swirling into the sky, higher and higher, darker and darker. The fisherman fell back in fright. The smoke took the shape of a terrifying ghost, enormous, with blazing eyes and a voice like thunder. I am free, the ghost roared. After 1,000 years, I am finally free. The fisherman trembled. Who are you? I am a powerful spirit, the ghost boomed. A great king sealed me inside this pot. For centuries I waited. First, I promised to reward whoever freed me. Then, after hundreds of years of anger, I swore to destroy whoever opened the pot. The fisherman's knees shook, but he was no fool. His mind raced, quick as a fish. Destroy me? He said, tilting his head. You? A mighty ghost. Who came out of this tiny pot? He looked at the pot, then at the ghost, and laughed. The ghost blinked. What is so funny? I simply cannot believe it. You are so enormous. This pot is so small. You could never have fit inside. Impossible. The ghost's eyes narrowed. You dare doubt me? I will prove it. And the ghost began shrinking, swirling back into smoke, pouring himself right back into the copper pot. Slam! The fisherman slapped the lid shut. Tight, sealed. Let me out! The ghost screamed. Let me out this instant! Oh no, great spirit, the fisherman said calmly. This time you will make a better promise. The ghost howled, but he was trapped. Finally, in a defeated voice, very well. If you free me, I swear I will reward you. No tricks, No harm. The fisherman thought carefully, then slowly opened the lid. The ghost emerged, smaller this time, calmer. He bowed. "You are clever, fisherman, cleverer than the king who trapped me." He touched the water, and golden fish leapt into the net. "Sell these to the king," the ghost said. "They are magical fish, worth a fortune. You will never be poor again." The fisherman took the fish to the palace. The king was amazed and rewarded him with 400 gold coins. From that day on, the fisherman and his family lived in comfort, not because of magic alone, but because of one man's courage and quick thinking. Remember, children, when you face something scary, don't panic. Use your mind, because the sharpest weapon in the world is a clever idea.
Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there lived a Brahmin. He had a small field of grain and worked hard, plowing and sowing. He watered and weeded, waiting patiently for harvest time. But there was also a little sparrow, tiny, plump, and very bold. She lived in the hedge near the field. Every morning, when the Brahmin was not looking, she hopped into the field. She would peck at the golden grain. Munch, munch, munch. 1 grain here, 2 grains there. As she ate, she sang a happy song. Goo, goo, goo. The grain is sweet, the field is new. Goo, goo, goo. The Brahmin heard the song one day and came running. Shoo, shoo, you naughty bird. That is my grain. Stop eating it. The sparrow flew to the hedge, tilted her head and chirped, goo, goo, goo. She was not even a little bit sorry. The next day, she came back. And the day after that, every single day. The sparrow would eat the grain and sing her song. Goo, goo, goo. The Brahmin grew more and more angry. He told his wife, "That wretched sparrow is eating all our grain. What shall we do?" His wife thought for a moment. "Set a trap," she said. "Catch the bird." So the Brahmin laid a little trap near the grain. Sure enough, the next morning, snap! The sparrow was caught. "Aha!" the Brahmin laughed. "Got you at last, you little thief." The sparrow looked up with bright eyes. She was not afraid. She opened her beak and sang, "Goo, goo, goo, you caught me true." "But what, oh what, will you now do?" "Goo, goo, goo." The Brahmin's wife came out. "Let's teach her a lesson. Give her hot chili paste." They put chili near the sparrow, but she pecked around it and kept singing, "Goo, goo, goo. Your chili is hot, but I don't care. Goo, goo, goo." The Brahmin scratched his head. His wife shouted. The children clapped. Nothing worked. The sparrow just sang louder and louder. "Goo, goo, goo, the grain is sweet. Goo, goo, goo." Finally, the Brahmin sat down, exhausted. He looked at the tiny sparrow. She was so small, so brave, so full of life and song. He realized she was only eating a few grains. The field was vast. He sighed and opened the trap. "Go, little one. Fly away." The sparrow hopped out. She chirped softly. "Guh, guh." It sounded like thank you. She flew to the hedge and disappeared. The world is big enough for everyone. A little kindness, a little sharing, costs us nothing, but means everything.
Once upon a time, a tiny ant and a colourful parrot lived together. They were the best of friends, always sharing stories and dreams. One morning, the ant said, "Oh, parrot, I have been dreaming of payasam, sweet, creamy payasam. Let us make some today." The parrot flapped her wings, excited. "What a wonderful idea! But we need milk, rice, sugar, and ghee. Where shall we find all that?" "We will ask our friends," said the ant bravely. "Come, let us go." And so they set off on a grand adventure, their hearts full of hope. First, they went to the cow. "Dear cow, will you give us some milk for our payasam?" The cow chewed her cud thoughtfully and said, "Milk? I will give you milk. But first, bring me fresh green grass from the meadow." So the ant and the parrot went to the meadow. "Dear meadow, will you give us grass for the cow?" so she can give us milk for our payasam. The meadow rustled in the breeze. Grass? I will give you grass. But first, bring me water. I am so thirsty. So they went to the river. Dear river, will you give us water for the meadow, so the meadow can give us grass for the cow, so the cow can give us milk for our payasam? The river gurgled happily. Water? I have plenty, but first, bring me a pot to carry it in. So they went to the potter. Dear potter, will you give us a pot for the river, so the river can give us water for the meadow, so the meadow can give us grass for the cow, so the cow can give us milk for our payasam? The potter scratched his chin. A pot? I will make one, but my kiln has gone cold. Bring me firewood first. So they went to the woodcutter. Dear woodcutter, will you give us firewood for the potter? So the potter can make us a pot for the river, so the river can give us water for the meadow, so the meadow can give us grass for the cow, so the cow can give us milk for our payasam. The ant was out of breath just saying it all. The woodcutter laughed. What a long chain of requests, but I like your spirit, little ones. Here, take this firewood. And just like that, the chain unravelled. Firewood went to the potter. The potter made a pot. The pot went to the river. The river filled it with water. The water went to the meadow. The meadow grew fresh grass. The grass went to the cow. The cow gave sweet milk. The ant and the parrot danced with joy. They added rice from the parrot's tree, sugar from the sugarcane field, and a drop of ghee. They cooked it all together over a gentle fire. Bubble, bubble, bubble. The payasam was ready. It was the most delicious payasam ever. Creamy, sweet, and made with love and friendship. The ant took a tiny sip. Perfect. The parrot took a little taste. Heavenly. And they shared it with everyone who helped: the woodcutter, the potter, the river, the meadow, and the cow. Because the best things in life are made together. When friends help friends, even the smallest ant can make the sweetest pudding.
Long ago, in an ancient kingdom, lived a brave young king named Yogadhatu. He was kind, fair, and loved by all. Under his rule, the kingdom flourished like a garden in spring. But not everyone was happy. A jealous neighboring king gathered a mighty army, thousands of soldiers, hundreds of horses, and fearsome war elephants. He wanted Yogadhatu's kingdom. Prepare for war, declared the enemy king. His massive army marched toward the border like a dark, rumbling storm. Yogadhatu's heart was heavy. His army was small, brave, but far outnumbered. His ministers looked worried. His generals whispered among themselves. Your Majesty, said the chief minister, their army is 10 times ours. We cannot win with swords alone. Yogadhatu sat in silence, thinking. Then he looked up. We will not fight with swords alone. We will fight with wisdom. We will ask nature for help. His ministers exchanged glances. Nature, Your Majesty? Trust me, said the king. Yogadhatu led his small army to a narrow mountain pass surrounded by thick forests. He knew this land well, had played here as a child. And he knew, deep in these ancient trees lived thousands upon thousands of wild honeybees. Set camp here, he ordered. Do not disturb the trees. Not one. The enemy army arrived at dawn, charging through the pass with thundering hooves and battle cries. They were confident, fearless. Victory was certain, they thought. But Yogadhatu had prepared a surprise. At his signal, soldiers struck the ancient trees with long bamboo poles. Twack! Twack! The trees shook. From every hollow, every branch, every hidden hive, the honeybees awoke. Thousands, tens of thousands. An angry, buzzing golden cloud. Bees z-z-z-z-z-z-z-z. The bees swarmed upon the enemy army like a living hurricane. They stung the horses, the elephants, the soldiers' faces, arms, and hands. The animals went wild with pain, bucking, kicking, trampling everything in their path. Retreat! Retreat! screamed the enemy general, swatting helplessly at the air. But in the narrow pass, there was nowhere to run. The mighty army was running in complete chaos. Yogurtatu's soldiers watched in amazement. Not one sword drawn, not one arrow shot. The tiny honeybees had done what 1,000 warriors could not. The enemy fled, never to return. Yogurtatu stood at the pass, looking at the forest with gratitude and wonder. Today, he told his people, we were saved not by arms, but by the smallest creatures here. Nature is our greatest ally. Protect it, and it will protect you. Because true strength is not always about being the biggest. Sometimes, the tiniest friends make the biggest difference.
Long ago, in the great city of Vijayanagara, lived King Sri Krishnadevaraya. His court was famous for poets, scholars, and artists, but the most famous of all was a witty young man named Tenali Ramalingam. Ramalingam was not born wealthy. He came from a small town. What he lacked in riches, he made up for in brains. His mind was sharp as a diamond, his tongue quicker than a whip. One day, Ramalingam arrived at Vijayanagara's court. The pillared hall glittered with jewels and silk. Scholars sat in long rows, noses held high. The head scholar Tatachariulu eyed the newcomer with disdain. "Who are you?" Tatachariulu sneered. "This court is for learned men, not village boys." Ramalingam smiled. "Respected sir, I have come to serve the king with whatever talent I possess." "Talent?" Tatachariulu laughed. "Can you recite the Vedas? Compose Sanskrit poetry?" "I can do something better," Ramalingam said quietly. "I can make the king laugh." The court fell silent. Krishnadevaraya leaned forward, intrigued. "Let the young man speak." Tatachariulu was furious, but stepped aside. Ramalingam walked to the center, looked at all the serious faces, and began. He told a simple story about a man who tried to teach his buffalo to sing. With gestures, expressions, and perfect timing, the entire court burst into laughter. Even the stone-faced guards smiled. Tatachariulu's lips twitched. Krishnadevaraya laughed until tears ran down his face. "Wonderful! Young man, you have a rare gift. From today, you are a member of my court." Tatachariulu turned red with jealousy. He plotted to humiliate Ramalingam. He set traps with difficult questions, debates to embarrass him. But every time, Ramalingam turned the tables. One day, Tatachariulu challenged him. "What is the greatest power in the world?" "Easy," Ramalingam replied. "The greatest power is a good joke." "A joke?" Tatachariulu scoffed. "Absurd, is it?" Ramalingam raised an eyebrow. "A sword can conquer a kingdom, but a joke can conquer a king's heart. And whoever holds the king's heart holds the kingdom." The court gasped. Krishnadevaraya smiled broadly. Tatachariulu opened his mouth, then closed it. But Ramalingam was not cruel. He bowed. "Great scholar, your knowledge is vast. I am but a small fish. Let us be friends, not rivals. The court needs your wisdom and my humor. Together, we make it whole." Tatachariulu stared. Then, slowly, a smile spread. He placed a hand on Ramalingam's shoulder. "You are clever, young man, but more than that, you are wise." From that day, Vijayanagara's court had both wisdom and laughter, and everyone agreed it was a much better place for it. Remember, children, being clever is wonderful, but being kind with it, that is true greatness. Once upon a time, in a green village, lived two brothers. Ramaya the elder and Samaya the younger. Ramaya was kind and hard-working, waking before dawn, tending fields, and helping anyone in need. Samaya was different, lazy, and always looking for shortcuts. Why work hard when you can work smart? He'd say, but his idea of working smart was not working at all. One day, their father called them. My sons, I am old. I wish to divide my land between you equally. Ramaya bowed. Thank you, father. I will work the land with all my heart. Samaya shrugged. I would rather have gold coins. But fine. Ramaya began ploughing, sowing, and watering. His fields turned golden with grain. Samaya? He slept under a tree. His fields grew nothing but weed. Months passed. Ramaya's harvest was bountiful. Samaya's stomach was empty, and his pockets emptier. Jealousy burned in his heart. Why should my brother have so much, and I so little? One night, he stole grain from Ramaya's storehouse, but it ran out, so he stole again, and again, until one moonlit night. Ramaya caught him. Brother! Ramaya gasped, not with anger, but sadness. Why steal from me? If you are hungry, why not simply ask? Somaya hung his head, but pride made him angry. You think you are better than me? I will make my fortune on my own. He stormed into the forest, walking for days, getting more lost with every step. Hungry and afraid, he stumbled upon a hermit under a banyan tree. Where are you going, young man? The hermit asked. I am looking for treasure, Somaya replied. The hermit smiled. Go home, pick up the plough, work your land. The treasure is already there. That is not treasure, Somaya scoffed. That is hard work. Exactly, said the hermit, and there is no treasure greater. Stubborn as ever, Somaya wandered deeper until he came face to face with a wild bull. The bull charged. Somaya ran, screaming for help. And who came running? Ramaya. Hearing his brother's cries, Ramaya rushed into the forest. He grabbed a branch, waved it bravely, and scared the bull away. Somaya collapsed, shaking. You saved me after everything I did. You came for me? Ramaya knelt beside him. You are my brother, no matter what. I will always come for you. Tears fell from Samaya's eyes. Real tears, for the first time. I am sorry, Anna. I have been foolish and selfish. Forgive me. Ramaya smiled. There is nothing to forgive. Come home. Let us work the land together. And that is what they did. Side by side, they ploughed, sowed, and harvested. Somaya discovered that working with your hands under the open sky beside someone you love is the greatest treasure of all. Their fields doubled, their family grew, and the village celebrated because the brothers were finally truly together. Once in a little town lived a boy named Ramu. Not the biggest in school, not the strongest, but without doubt, the cleverest. His best friend Gopi was round, cheerful, and loved to eat. Their friend Krishna was tall and serious, always worrying about something. One sunny afternoon, the three were walking home when Gopi suddenly stopped. His eyes went wide. His nose twitched. Smell that? He whispered. Something delicious from Chandramama. Chandramama was the best restaurant in town. Crispy dosas, fluffy idlis, and heavenly sweets. The boys pressed their faces against the window. Those jalebis. Gopi moaned. So golden, so syrupy, so perfect. We have no money, Krishna said sensibly. Ramu grinned. We don't need money. We need a plan. Oh no, Krishna groaned. Not your plans again. Ramu's eyes sparkled. Listen, Father gave me a rupee this morning for notebooks. Pool our coins and we have enough for 3 plates of sweet. But your notebooks? Krishna asked. I have a better idea. Ramu went. They marched into Chandamama, sat like little kings, and ordered 3 plates of the finest sweets. They ate like never before. Gopi licked every drop of syrup from his fingers. Even Krishna smiled with a sugar-coated face. Magnificent, Gopi declared, patting his belly. Now, Ramu said, leaning forward, here is the clever part. Next day at school, the teacher called out, Ramu, where are your new notebooks? Ramu stood up, calm as a cucumber. Sir, a terrible thing happened. On my way to the shop, a monkey snatched the rupee right from my hand. A monkey? The teacher raised an eyebrow. Yes, sir, a big brown monkey. It jumped from the mango tree near the market. I chased it, sir. I really did. But it climbed up and ate the rupee. The whole class was silent. Then Gopi nodded vigorously. It is true, sir. I saw it. Krishna covered his face, trying not to laugh. The teacher studied Ramu for a long moment. Rain you. The most creative excuse I have ever heard. But a monkey that eats money? Really? Monkeys eat everything, sir, Ramu said innocently. The teacher shook his head, but his mouth turned up. Fine, I will let it go this once. But next time, Ramu, money in your pocket, not your hand. Yes, sir, Ramu beamed. After school, the 3 sat under the big neem tree, laughing until their stomachs hurt. You are a genius, Gopi declared. Not a genius, Ramu corrected. Just resourceful. But that evening, when Ramu's father came home, he found a new notebook on his desk. Ramu had spent the afternoon doing odd jobs, carrying water, sweeping porches, running errands, and earned enough to buy the notebook honestly. Because Ramu was clever, yes, but he also knew, and the cleverest thing of all is to always make things right. His father smiled, not knowing the whole story, and Ramu smiled back, knowing everything. Once in a green forest lived Naka, a cunning fox. He never worked for food, using his silver tongue instead. Why hunt? Naka would say, when you can think. One day, Naka spotted Mangadoo the bull grazing. Mangadoo was big, strong, and simple. Good morning, Mangadoo, Naka called, admiring his horns. The Lion King wants a handsome bull as his royal guard. I could recommend you, but first, spare some grass. Mangadoo, beaming with pride, pushed over sweet grass. Naka gobbled it up and trotted away. It was all lies. Next, he told goats a tiger was coming. Store food in his den. The foolish goats obeyed, and Naka ate every morsel. He told birds he was collecting for a feast. They brought nuts and berries. Naka ate it all. Day after day he cheated deer, rabbits, squirrels. But a little monkey Chiku was watching. Naka always has food but never hunts, Chiku thought. Everyone shares with him, but he never shares back. He is a cheat. Chiku gathered the animals and told them the truth. Naka has been tricking us all. Slowly, it hit them. Mangadoo remembered the Lion King lie. The goats remembered their lost food. The birds, the feast. What do we do? They asked. Chiku grinned. We give him a taste of his own medicine. Next morning, Chiku ran to Naka. Great news! Villagers left a huge pot of payasam at the forest edge. Naka's eyes lit up. Payasam. He raced to the edge. But there was no payasam. Just a deep pit covered with leaves. Naka fell right in. God! Help! He cried. The animals gathered around. How does it feel to be tricked? Naka's ears drooped. He had nothing clever to say, but the animals did not leave him. Mangadoo lowered a rope. They pulled him out, giving a stern warning. No more tricks. Want food? Work. Want friends? Be honest. Naka, dripping with mud, felt truly ashamed. I am sorry. And he did change, learning to work, share, and be a true friend.